Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. On today's episode, it's Topaz Mask AI. We're going to do a sky replacement on this image right here. Now, I've had some comments where people are saying, I wish you would really show me all the nitty gritty of how you get, how good Mask AI works, show us all the minute details. I'm paraphrasing there. But anyway, today I want to do that. I really want to dive into Mask AI. I'll show you every little step. We're going to go through all the tools. I think I cover every tool pretty much in there. And you're going to see how we get this sky replaced. And it ends up looking like this after sky replacement. And it's done all inside of Mask AI, the total adjustments. I mean, only thing I'm using Photoshop for is to launch the plugin, Mask AI. Now, I could have done it right from Mask AI if I would have wanted to, too, as a standalone. But I always start from Photoshop. But you could have done it right from Mask AI if you wanted to. But you're going to see how we get these final results. And stay tuned till the end because I'm going to show you. I don't show you how to do a luminar sky replacement, but I compare the luminar sky replacement on a tough image to this image right here. And you'll see the differences between the two, like which one do you think might be better for an image like this. So that should be interesting for you. So without any further ado, let's get started. I'm starting out here today in Photoshop. Now here's my background layer, and I don't even have to duplicate the background layer to send this into Topaz Mask AI because I set Mask AI up to do that for me in the preferences. So all I need to do is come up to Filter and launch Topaz Mask AI. Now here we are inside of Mask AI. Now in case you didn't know, but Mask AI works with a system called TriMap. And basically, if you look over here at the brushes, you have a compute brush, a keep, and a cut. So basically you have to define three different areas: a cut area, a keep area, and a compute area. Now I can just come here and click on this auto detect sky icon, and it automatically detect my sky and paint the sky red for cut. The compute areas around the palm trees and the green area, and the foreground would be the keep area. And I've tried this already and it worked okay, but I found it was easier if I did not do that. So let me just go ahead and undo that. And the way I did it was I just got the brush here and went to the compute tool. And all I did was I just painted around these palm trees like this. Very simple to do, actually. Come across the bottom here. And then get a blue bucket, paint bucket, and click right here. And get a red bucket and click right in the sky. So now I have my cut area, which is the sky, the compute area, this whole area inside here, and my keep area, the foreground down here. And now all I have to do is click on compute. Now I have two mask modes: AI or contrast. I'm just going to use AI because this is a very tough selection here. So I'm just going to click compute. And AI is good when you have a really tough section. If it's a basic cutout like some buildings or something like that with a lot of straight lines, then the contrast will work fine for you. But there's our cutout. This is how the interface looks after you've made the computation. Now on your left, you'll see the original image. On the right will be the cutout image. And right now it's on Show TriMap. See, this is checked on right here. I'm going to uncheck that just so I can compare the left with the right. All right, so I have these two views here, and you could change it to 4 views, 2 views, or just 1 view. I like to use the 2 views myself. And the next thing I want to do is add a background. So let's click on background and let's click on image because we're going to add an image right inside of Mask AI, which is really cool. And then we're going to balance it out, the foreground to the background. And that's what this video is really all about today. So let's click upload image and your file browser will open up. And all I have to do is point the browser to the image. And it's inside of this drive here, this OWC HD drive. And it is inside of this picture set 1, and I have it marked inside of here, MacFun Sky Replacement. I got a bunch of free skies from MacFun at one time, so I'm just using those. So I'm going to go into this Blue Skies collection, and I have a sky picked out, and it is sky 53, if I can find it. right here. I'll just double click that and that'll load it in. There's some refining we're going to have to do in this mask, but I'm not going to do it yet. I want to get my sky in position first. So what you need to do is come here to where it says transform and click that. And then you have an option here. You can maintain the aspect ratio, or you can uncheck this and not maintain the aspect ratio. So what I'm going to do is just pull this up and get it into position. And then I can drag these little handles here and re-transform that sky to where I like it. And I think right there, I think is going to be good. And then just click transform again. Now here's the part I really love about Mask AI, and that is the fact that I can adjust the background or I can adjust the foreground separately, which is really awesome for making a composite look, accurate and believable. So what I want to do is I need to adjust the sky first. So I think I need to lighten the sky up a little bit. Now I'm looking at the image on the left too, just to reference it too. So I want to get that sky about the same brightness as the sky on the left is. And I think maybe right around there looks good. Then I could come and play with the contrast. I can give it more contrast or less contrast. I might just give it just a little bit more contrast. And I could take the highlights and give it, open those highlights up, or I could remove some of the highlights from the image here, and I might just back that off a little bit, and I still may give it a little more contrast. Maybe something like that. This is just going to protect me from blowing out my highlights. Already, I think it's looking pretty good. Let me see here. I could go to the blacks here and pull this to the left if I wanted to darken up those clouds a little bit, the shadows in the clouds, and I might just darken them back a little bit. And then we can play with the temperature. If you move it to the right, you can warm up the sky, or move it to the left, you can cool the sky down. And again, I'm trying to match the color of that sky over there, so I might just cool it slightly. And then we have tint. We can adjust the tint, but I think that looks good. If we need a little more saturation, we could move the saturation to the right or move it to the left to decrease saturation. But let me just play around with it a little bit here. All right, I think it looks pretty good right where it is, actually. I'm going to leave that. But here's another really cool feature. You have this blur here, so watch, I can really blur out that sky if I wanted to. I want it to look realistic, so I might just give it like just a little bit of blur right there, like a 0.10. And I'm happy with the sky. Now I'm going to jump and change to the foreground. All right, and now this is where I can alter it a little bit. I may want to open up the shadows a little bit on the foreground, so I can take the shadow slider here and move it to the right a little bit. Maybe just open up that foreground shadows a little bit. And I might want to give it a slight amount of exposure increase, just a very little bit. Maybe increase the contrast. Yeah, I'm going to, not that much, but I want a little bit of a contrast increase in it. And let's see here. I'm going to not open the shadows up that much. Maybe right around there. And let's see, the temperature, I might just warm it slightly. And now I'm going to take the tint, I think, and move it. If you move it to the left, you'll make it, you'll shift the tint to the greener side of things. See this? See how you can make it greener? And it is a golf course. And it looks a little yellow on the image on the left, so I think I just may want to give it a little bit of green. Yeah, and already that looks good. I really love the image on the right compared to the one on the left. But you see how we can balance things out. Now, if we wanted to give it some more saturation, we can increase the saturation, or we could cut the saturation back, whatever you'd like. I might just increase the saturation just a minute amount, maybe around a 4 or 5, somewhere right around in there. And I think that looks really good. I think I'm balanced out. Now we're going to take a look at we're going to get up close to it and see if we need to do any refinement to the mask. With the image at this size, it looks good, but you really need to zoom in to check things out. So let's zoom in a good bit, and let's start on the left-hand side, and we'll compare the left to the right and see if we need to do anything. The first thing I want to do is click on Edge, and you got a bunch of tools in here like Edge Hardness, Strength, Edge Shift, Foreground Recovery. I don't use a lot of these in here, but the Foreground Recovery I find is really valuable. and sometimes the D fringe. So this area right up here looks like it's a little bit light compared to this side over here. And it's not bad, so let me just take the foreground recovery and start to move that to the right. And see how that feels right in there? That's a really cool slider. So I'm just going to move it over. And yeah, I think that pretty much takes care of that right there. And I'm just looking at the left here, comparing this over here. Yeah, it's a little funky right there, but it's not bad. Now, if I go to the mask tool right here, I'm going to try the compute brush first. Now, I'll try different things here and see what works. What I think I'll do first is just hit the compute brush right over this little area right here and see what it does. Yeah, and already that cleaned it up right there. Now it left a little bit of a residue out here. So I'm just going to use a shortcut. Now Q is your compute brush, W is your keep brush, and E is the shortcut for your cut brush. So I'm just going to do my cut brush. So I'm going to type the E key. I'm not going to keep bothering you with these shortcuts, but I just want you to know it really helps you when you're doing this. See, that cleaned that right up. Now I'm looking at this area right here and right here. I'm going to introduce you to a different tool. This is a new tool with one of the recent updates of Mask AI. This little color range tool right here. Give it a click and you have a choice of keep or cut. I'm selecting keep here, and what I want to do is sample one of these colors, and like right here. This color right here. And then you have this range slider that you can adjust and change the range of that particular color. I'm just going to paint over here and see if I can fill any of that area. And this is a delicate area and a really tough area for the mask to figure out. So let's see what it can do here. Yeah, that looks really nice. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to hit undo and pull the range slider back a little bit more and see if I can find the perfect amount of range for that. Yeah, that looks better. I'm going to undo it one more time and just pull back a little bit more and try it one more time here. Yeah, that looks good. Now let me try it in this area right here because it's similar color. And yeah, that looks good. I'm comparing it from here to here. I think that's good. Let me try moving the range up a little bit more and hitting it one more time. Yeah, it just darkens it in a little bit more. I'm just noticing this spot right up here. Let me take this, now that I got the color range set, let me pull this back to like an 8 and hit this right here and see if this helps this. Yeah, perfect. I moved to the next part of the image and I just started to examine it, and I found a couple little spots that need to fix. See, like right here and right here in this tree. So I'm going to get a brush tool for that. This is an easy fix. Just get the keep brush and I'll make it a little bit smaller. And I'll just paint right here like so. And that'll just clean that right up. See, that cleans it right up. Same here, I'll just paint right down along here and right here. And that'll clean that right up as well. Yep, that looks good. There's a little spot here in the tree. I'll make my brush a little smaller and just paint down the tree. Yep, cleans it up. This bit of palm branch right here looks a little funky, and if you look over on the original image, it looks funky there too. So I'm thinking, I think I'm just going to remove that. So what I'm going to do is just get a cut brush, a very small cut brush, and just paint over that area right there, and just simply get rid of it. I don't think we need it. So let's see what that does. Yeah, that looks good. I'm just going to paint that little bit right there. It helps to whisper when you're doing these things. Yeah, it looks better. Because if you look here, that looks funny right there. And that looks more believable to me. I went to move to the next part of the image, but we were right to here. And I just moved over and looked at it, and it was good. We didn't need to do anything there. So now I went ahead and fit the image to the screen. So there's the image on the left. There's the before. And here's the image on the right. There's the after. And everything looks good. We can zoom in a little bit and just take a look around. We miss anything? Nope, everything looks good. Zoom back out. And if we're happy with this, all we need to do is click apply. Now, when we click apply, we have two options: transparent, that would send it back to Photoshop with a layer mask, or composite. We want to send it back with a composite because we added this sky to the background. So let's go ahead and click composite, and that sends us back to Photoshop. And here we are back in Photoshop with a nice composited sky on this golf image. Now here is the before. A nice image of a golf course with a guy walking away from us, but hey, it's a golf course, and I do love golf courses. I don't really play golf, but I love golf courses. Anyway, but the image is a little bit lackluster because the sky wasn't very nice, and it looks a little bit dull, but now after Mask AI, we were able to replace that sky and also add a little bit of pop to this image and make it I don't know, the composite looks so much better, I think. Again, here's the before and here's the after. Now, the cool thing is with Mask AI, you can adjust the foreground, as you saw me do, and you can adjust the background. And then you can marry those two images together. So I am totally happy with this result. I think this composite came out really nice. By the way, I'm sure somebody would say, hey, Dave, why didn't you do this composite with Luminar? It would have been so much faster. But actually, it didn't take me all that long to do, and I really took my time to try to get things looking just perfect, and I wanted to spend a lot of time in this video to really show you the nitty-gritty how to use Mask AI. Okay, I did this same sky replacement in Luminar, and it was definitely faster, but this is my result here. And I worked hard to get this right, and if I zoom in, you'll notice there's even some little issues like seeing the sky right here. I couldn't get that fixed right there. Over here, it's a little funky. So it's very good, but it's not perfect. And the other thing was that I thought I couldn't get it to really pop. Now, I could work in this image some more and get it to look pretty much like my other image, but I was able to do this all right inside of Mask AI, which was really cool. So, you know, in reality, this image in Mask AI probably would have taken about like 20 minutes to get it to this point, but it's really kind of a completed image at this point. Now, I might do some final touches to it, and it's not a great image by any stretch of the imagination, but again, this is the Luminar, or this is not the Luminar, this is the Mask AI version, and this is the Luminar version. So I think you can see a difference there. Again, Luminar is great, but I would have to really do a lot more things to it to bring it to the level of this image. So the bottom line for me is Luminar 4, Mask AI, which should you use? And I would say on a fairly straightforward image, Luminar 4 is great. But when you're working on an image like this where it's a little more challenging, definitely Mask AI is the way to go, and it does a fantastic job. Now, are there any perfect masking programs out there on the market today, including Photoshop? Not really, but I think Topaz Mask AI is probably one of the best, if not the best. I mean, it's fantastic. It does a great job. And I wanted to really take my time and show you all the nitty-gritty workings of Mask AI today. And we used all the different tools. I think we used all the different tools that were in there. And I think our results are good, but the ability to do the foreground and the background is amazing. And again, here is the Skylum Luminar 4 sky replacement versus the Mask AI. But Mask AI did a great job, and the ability to be able to get the image out of Mask AI back into Photoshop is pretty much a complete image, I think, is a really great feature. Well, there it is. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. I really wanted to send Mask AI through the paces on a tougher image like this today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a like and share it with your friends. If you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe and click that bell notification icon. And then every time I upload a new tutorial, you will be notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today on The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. I'll see you all right here next time, but until then, happy editing.